just got this message. As long as you still live in the victim-villain paradigm, when closing out cycles with people, you are doomed to repeat that cycle. So sometimes, until we wake up, we are doomed to continue the cycle where, in order to close out cycles, connections with other people, we create a victim-villain paradigm, and we turn the other person into a villain in our story, and we make ourselves the victim. And we do that because it allows us to justify destroying whatever it is that we created with that person, and we can become the hero of our own story and then rise like the phoenix. Woo! And then we start all over. But as long as we hold on to this paradigm of victim-villain, we're going to continue to repeat that cycle, because what the victim-villain paradigm teaches us is that mainly our boundaries are not good. Because what it's teaching us is that we gave too much of our power away. And by giving too much power away, what I literally mean is, like, you put somebody else on a pedestal and put them above you. And so in order to bring balance back into the situation, you have to, like, destroy that person, destroy the situation, and turn them into a villain, when it was actually, like, in your mind, you created a bigger version of them than what they actually showed you. So, self-responsibility, accountability, there is no victim-villain paradigm. We are both the victim and the villain. You are the victim, and you are also the villain. The villain that gave away your power, that abandoned you in your destiny and gave that away to somebody else. Now you have to face that about yourself before you can really blame anybody else for anything that happened. So if you can take accountability at that level and understand that we are all both victim and villain, then you've entered a new way of relating to the world. And what you begin to gravitate towards in relationship and connection with others is having good enough boundaries that both people can remain whole in their unique experience, and nobody gives away more of themselves than is necessary for that particular relationship, which means you have to watch yourself on the ideas of, like, creating future ideas. If somebody starts talking to you about future stuff and you don't know them very well, like, stop. Tell them no, and if they don't stop, then you're gonna have to pull back, because that's a red flag. If somebody's already trying to build a future with you and you don't know who they are and they don't know who you are, like, they're trying to create an energetic idea of God in your mind, that you start to create a future in your mind with that person, and ultimately you're gonna have to destroy it, because that's not how it works. So that was, like, kind of deep channel-y message there. So I guess the takeaway from that is, have good boundaries, know your destiny, stay true to your own path, and allow people to show you who they are. Try to break out of the victim-villain paradigm by keeping a level of connection with people that doesn't involve, like, giving up more of yourself than is balanced. Some of the problem with being in a situation where you give away too much of your power, what happens is you end up having to destroy that person. But here's the thing, is like, in the process, in the real world, you actually did like do some beautiful things together. And so part of who you are is a reflection of that person. So when you blow up a relationship in that way, there's some cool freaking snakes on here. So when you have to blow up a relationship in that way and turn this other person into a villain and, you know, try to be the hero and all this stuff, like, the problem with that is when you blow up that connection, you're actually blowing up a part of yourself, because a part of your heart, like, genuinely was connected to that person. And, you know, you do have parts of you, fragments that were really beautiful and that inspired you and that you're grateful for. So that's another reason to avoid getting in too deep with people, is because if you have that kind of connection where you just have to destroy it, then you're gonna deal with a lot more pain, because you're gonna have to like destroy a part of yourself. And so coming out of that kind of connection, can you find gratitude? Can you find forgiveness for yourself for giving up yourself? And can you continue to love the parts of yourself that still love that person? That's like the big question. Because you're gonna want to hide the parts of yourself that make you think of this person behind shame. It's just what happens. So, you know, watch yourself, have good boundaries, because it's hurting you as much as it hurts this other person. And, you know, like, I know you can derive some energy from like having those kinds of connections, and it's real, people love to get all fired up about shit, but like, it's not good. It's not good, and we need to relate to each other differently. So watch a situation where if you start to think about somebody as the villain in your story, where are you giving your power away? What are you giving to them? Why are you putting them on a pedestal? What made you think that they were, you know, something other than what their behavior is showing you? And if there's a disconnect between the idea that you have of who they are and your, like, the reality of the behavior, if there's a disconnect there, like, sit with that. Because, you know, if you're hanging out with somebody and they're telling you one thing and they're behaving in a different way, like, that's a clue. Don't attach to that thing. That thing is not balanced and centered. That person is not at home in themselves. Their behaviors are not lining up with what they say they believe to be true. Like, that's fine, live your life, but it won't work for me, because I need to be able to count on what you say is actually in line with your behaviors in real life. And if not, that's fine. I don't need to blow you up and destroy you and hurt you and all these things in order for you to just have your own journey and learn your own lessons, you know? And you'll learn those lessons through other people. It doesn't have to be one person. But yeah, I don't know. Little creek in the backyard. So yeah.